It's July 27th, release day for Jazz Cartier's much-anticipated major label debut, Forever, and it's clear from the outset that he doesn't want to be doing interviews. Least of all, one suspects, with a middle-aged white dude in a Slayer ball cap. "Don't they have any black writers?" he asks, rather bluntly between glances at his phone, as we struggle through a 13-minute chat on the Drake Hotel's rooftop. Jazz Cartier's single, Which One, is out now. In any case, Forever, the follow-up to the 25-year-old Toronto rapper born Jay Adams's 2016 breakthrough mixtape, Hotel Paranoia, is finally out there and being eyed by many in the know, and in particular by the folks at Universal Music, as a very real contender for the next big hip-hop thing from Toronto. Yet, despite the big label presence in the background, Cartier's vision remains remarkably true to the blurry, trap-indebted sound of his two previous underground releases, eschewing high-profile guest verses and expensive A-list production credits for just another round of solid offerings mostly cooked up in-house by a longtime crew that includes such local producers as KTOE, Crinny and Michael Lance. After a small venue launch party at the Velvet Underground on August 16 that will surely be bursting at the seams, Cartier will be taking his Buffalo live show, which he took to something like 200 international ports of call in the wake of Hotel Paranoia's release, to at least 4 continents through the fall. It's a fun one if you have the opportunity to catch it. He's a born performer. Here's the salvageable part of our conversation last week, in all its glory. Article continued Bellow, so it took a couple of years, but here it is, the new album. Seemed like you were out on the road forever after Hotel Paranoia. That must have forced a lot of growth on you in a hurry. Yeah, it was a learning and growing process. Yeah? Did you hear the album? I was just giving it another spin on the walk over here. I like Which One a lot. This feels like a really confident step forward for you and your sound. Was it a tough record to make? No, I can do this shush in my sleep, know what I'm saying? I just don't really see the need in having to rush myself for the sake of other people. Well, I like that you kept the production and everything in-house. With a lot of hip-hop records these days, it feels like the person whose name is on the cover is a guest on their own album. Toronto rapper Jazz Cartier celebrates his birthday on the shoulders of the South by Southwest crowd at the Fader Fort in Austin, Texas. A launch party at the Velvet Underground is planned for Forever on August 16. Ben Rayner, Toronto star, Jazz Cartier's vision remains remarkably true to the blurry, trap-indebted sound of his two previous underground releases. Ben Rayner writes, Jeremy Rodney Hall photo, that's what's expected. Was there any pressure to do it otherwise? Was it hard to stick to your guns? Article continued below half and half. I had to deal with a lot of bullsh, which is why it took so long. But I stood my ground. Did you record a whole lot of stuff for the new one? A lot of stuff. Give me an idea of the volume. Why does it matter? I'm curious. I would say between 300 and 400 songs. Whoa. Was it a long process to weed that down to 16 songs? No, you know what's good. You know what's worth passing. I have an issue with, like, recording a song and not going back to it, then my homies will be, like, this song is actually worth it. Know what I'm saying? Are you in the studio a lot, then? As much as I want to be. As much as I try to be. It's hard, but, well, there's a lot of eyes on this record. Feels like a cool time to be you. I'm just a regular guy, bro, you feel me? I hope this effing project brings me all the success that I want and the acclaim. I'm very, very different from a lot of rappers. Like you said, it's not full of features. I'm not feeling like a guest on my own album. It's very much me. It's Jazz Cartier at his finest, my flaws and all. One thing I like about this record is that there's a lot of uncertainty and self-doubt to it. You seem almost at war with yourself. There's a lot more self-examination going on than on your average hip-hop record. It's kind of vulnerable. It comes naturally, man. I'm a real person, you feel me? Rappers really think that they're just rappers and they're excluded from 100% of the world. That's not true. You can tell a lot about a person by what they put in their music and what they want to put out to the world. That's, like, their perception of themselves they're projecting. Even on Instagram and shush, what you put on there is how you want people to perceive you. It's not hard to tell people that you've been fed up and you've done bad things and that you want to right your wrongs, but it's crazy for rappers to do that, you know what I mean. Oh my god, he's vulnerable. A rock artist or a pop artist can do that, or AAF in country or bluegrass or folk or alternative or indie artist can do that, but when it's rap, it's just so full of egomaniacs, myself included. It's crazy for someone to be vulnerable. It's very human. That's me, bro. I'm far from perfect. The new one does feel a little more level than Hotel Paranoia. It's not quite as dark, anyway. A little more comfortable in its own skin, maybe. I'm not in a dark place in my life. Those first two albums, as much as people revere those, I was going through very dark times. I was still going through a dark time making this album, but for the sake of myself, if I'm having to relive those moments for the next year and a half while I tour these records, I want to have fun for once. That's where I was at with it. I'm fortunate to have been on the road for so long, but I was on the road a lot longer than most people. You put a lot into your shows, man. I can't imagine it's easy doing that night after night. It's hard on the body. It's one of the best live shows in the game. Well, you know as well as I do that a lot of live hip-hop can be hopelessly half-assed. 80% of the time, it's half-assed. 9% is decent. Release date then. You gonna celebrate? Yeah? I'll go to the studio tonight. I'm gonna go back to the studio tonight and work on some more music. But for the time being, Forever is here and it's gonna be here for a long time.